kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills, nights get loud. Big EQB, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it on a Thursday, ready to go with this preview for UFC 319. It's been pretty loud out there about this fight, man. We got Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight championship, and of course we got DDP as the champion right now. And Khamzat's been highly touted to be one of the guys that's gonna make it difficult for DDP to hold on to that belt. But I don't know if I feel that way. So we're definitely gonna get into that and talk about all of it as well as the rest of the card, because it is a pretty damn good card. I think there's a lot of hey, thanks Infinity. The chat's already jumping off. We got Infinity in the chat, always with the support. I appreciate you. And CST was in there early, way early, but they were in there early, letting me know they were, supporting too. And speaking of, I just dropped another interview. It was a little bit of a different one, but it's not on my channel just yet. I'll put it on the channel a little later, but it's on the Combat Sports Today channel. So go over to their YouTube channel and subscribe over there. They have a lot of good content, a lot of fighter interviews, and a bunch of different things going on over there. And they cover a lot more than just UFC. I'm UFC centric here, but I, talk about other combat sports too, but they cover a lot of everything. So I collab with them, and that's how I do my fighter interviews. But I did interview it was an interesting one. It's a little bit different. If you know me, I'm not big into like the power slap stuff or the slap fighting, but there's a network called I don't want to get it wrong, because Pro League Network, because it's too close to PFL, and MMA, PFL, like I'm gonna be talking about PFL in a minute, so I want to make sure I get that right. But it's Pro League Network. Believe me, I had notes to make sure I didn't mess that one up. But yeah, Pro League Network. They have a channel on YouTube. They are big with streamers and stuff. They do a bunch of different offshoots of different types of sports. I know I've been critical about stuff like this too, but they do slap fighting. They do car jitsu. Now that is actually really interesting. It's jujitsu in a car. They use you can use the seat belt. You can jump to the back seat, as in taking someone's back. It's a lot of crazy things that are a part of it, but it's definitely interesting. They've been doing this whole hilarious and dumb at the same time. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, man. And honestly, their production is pretty good. And seen a phone booth one too. Yeah, so that's a little bit different. That's not these guys, but yeah, they do the Karjitsu. They do Coffin Wars, which is kind of crazy. It's basically like just grappling to throw somebody out of a coffin. It's kind of crazy. Sounds crazy, but it's interesting. So they've been on really big, with streamers. They had, I don't know if you know anything about IRL streamers or gamers and streamers and stuff like that. Kai Cenat is a big guy in the streaming industry, and he's probably one of the biggest. And he actually had the events go on at his house, at the AMP house. If you know AMP, they're a big streaming group. Agent, Phantom. If you know any of them, you might know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sorry. This is a bit more of you got to be real deep into this. And I know a lot of this because my daughter follows a lot of them because she's a streamer as well. But I also stumbled across all this on TikTok. I am on TikTok a lot. Maybe that's not great, but I am. So the thing is they have, I mean, that's where I saw Karjitsu. Kai Cenat actually did it. T-Pain does streaming now too. And he was on some of these events, and he actually did Karjitsu as well. So, I mean, these people are getting involved. They have MMA fighters involved, old school MMA fighters like Mayhem Miller, Mark Coleman, the legend, Randy Couture, another legend. Mayhem Miller's a legend in his own as well. So I mean, they have a lot of people mixed up in this stuff, and it's pretty interesting, man. So I mean, he has a whole studio in the basement. Oh, T-Pain. Yeah, man. His setup is crazy. But yeah, so all these people are mixed up with this stuff, and so it's pretty cool. A few weeks ago, Kai Cenat had was on again. So and they get crazy views for all that stuff. So, but anyway, they have an event going on tomorrow called the Gauntlet, where they're gonna have like their biggest competitors all compete against each other for all of these events. They actually have one, if you remember old school wrestling, where they did the chest chop, where they would like slap the shit out of the person's chest. We all know what wrestling, professional wrestling is like. So this is the real shit. They're really slapping the shit out of each other anywhere in this like area between like the belly and the chest. It's crazy. I don't know if you're into off the wall type shit. It's fun. And you know, I gave it a shot. I was doing research, and you know, some good stuff there. So if you're into, you know, a little bit crazier combat sports, that's definitely for you. So check it out. And my interview's up with the co-founder of the PLN network. His name's Bill Eucatonis, and he's a businessman, entrepreneur type guy, but he's real involved in all this stuff. And he's passionate about it. So it was a fun conversation with him in about 30 minutes. And you know, we got into talking about all the events and everything like that. So it's a good one. Go over to Combat Sports Today, go to their YouTube channel, and you can see it there. If you follow me on social media, I posted it on social media as well. So yeah, go check it out. It's a good one. I had a good time, and it was interesting. So yeah, and that's it for that. Anyway, for the rest of things, it's been a weird week. And work was crazy today. We need a wolf follow up. I know, man. I know he's fighting at the end of the month too. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that going. I actually need to bring that up to Phil and see what happens. So yeah, but that would be a good one because he's fighting a former UFC fighter, Jairzinho Rosenstruck, and they're fighting for the first ever DBX heavyweight title. So that should be fun. I'm definitely gonna be watching that and rooting for the wolf. Rob the Wolf Perez, if you haven't heard of him. And if you're new here, I did an interview with him. So you can check that out on my channel too. Or over at Combat Sports Today. But yeah, so other than that, not a whole lot going on. I mean, work was crazy today. I got home late and I was worried that I'm just glad I had all my stuff ready. And other than that, nothing else. I think I'm gonna be out of town next week. So you might see a bit of a different background when it comes to my show next week. It just depends on whether I do it on Monday or Sunday. If you know, for the recap, we'll see how the weekend goes. But I will be out of town next week. Not sure if the Thursday show will happen while I'm out there or not. But yeah, it has been a while since I've been mobile for sure. I don't even know what to do with myself. It's been a long time. But yeah, I gotta go. So next week will be interesting. Maybe I'll do some extra stuff because I'll be just sitting in a hotel room doing nothing. And I always take as much as I can to be able to do a stream and you know, do a show or even just to prep. So no matter what, I'm ready to go so I can do that. And maybe I'll just jump on. Maybe I'll do some TikTok live or something. I don't know. We'll see how the days go. But other than that, we got UFC 319 coming up. And we got a little bit of some news. Oh, let me do some Noctane. Noctane Smelling Salt's my sponsor, of course. I got to figure out I got to move the boxes probably lower because actually I should do that now since I can. It's fairly simple. I can just move this lower here. And then I can move this one lower. Oops, I turned it off. I can move this one down here. And then I don't have the chat over the top. So there we go. Look at that. Easy enough. And now I don't have to remember to do it later because I already did it. So yeah, Noctane Smelling Salts. There's the QR code. It'll take you to their website. I also got the bottle here. It's the red cap, the most potent one. There's a link in the description below as well. You can follow that. Let me take a nice big whiff of this. Get yourself nice and alert and ready to go for this show. And then we'll get to all of the juicy news and UFC 319 preview. Here we go. This is going to hurt. I know it. Get myself ready. Uh-oh. I got the The camera's going out of focus. It knows I'm about to go nuts. Here we go. Oh. Yep. There it is. Oof. Yeah, it's the most potent bottle for a reason. My eyes will water, and I have a harsh reaction, but I promise you it's worth it. It'll keep me nice and alert and awake throughout the show. I do it every time. Appreciate the sponsorship, Noctane Smelling Salts. I turned that fan back on because I live in Arizona and it's fucking hot. So thanks again, Noctane, for the sponsorship. Now I'm ready to go. So let's get this started. And we're going to start off with some combat sports news. We're going to revisit the broadcast deal for UFC that happened earlier this week. I went over it on Monday, and I'm going to go through it again real quick. Not really go through it again, but give an update because there has been a few updates. Everyone's talking about the pay-per-view model being dead. Dana White doesn't want us to believe that because they still have pay-per-views to sell for the rest of this year, which is something I did mention in the show, which was how you going to expect people to, buy the pay-per-views for the rest of the year when you're getting it for free if you already have Paramount Plus next year, or basically for free because the yearly amount for Paramount Plus is really cheap compared to buying every single pay-per-view. So are people going to do that? I don't know. Maybe they'll just be like, fuck it, I'm streaming it. Who gives a shit? It's only a few. Make your money back a little bit. But for me, I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to support it for now and hope that those guys that get pay-per-view points for the last few months still get a good amount. So that'll be my support. But according to Dana, the only thing he can tell anybody about the fighters getting any kind of portion of this revenue that they're creating by getting $7.7 billion for this deal. Of course, that's across 7 years. So it's 1.1 billion each year. Billion, by the way, with a fucking B, okay? Not an M. There's no millies, it's billies. So yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. But the fighters already, yeah, Infinity got that one. The fighters already, we talk about fighter pay all the time. Okay, I've heard people give both sides of this. It is what it is. But as far as what Dana White has said so far, the only thing he can promise is that the bonuses are going to go up. And I heard something about 75,000 instead of 50,000 for the bonuses. And those are usually performance of the night bonuses or fight of the night bonuses. If it's a performance of the night, it only goes to the one athlete that they consider having the performance of the night. If it's a fight of the night bonus, it goes to both athletes, win or lose, that are involved in that fight. So put on a great fight, you both get a bonus. That's how it works. And if you yourself gets a great finish or put on a good performance overall, you get that bonus. So apparently they're going up. I would hope that they would double it and do 100 grand per bonus, but I'm hearing more like 75. We'll see what the truth is. I'm sure it'll happen, right away, and we'll get to know all the details, moving into the new year. So other than that, Dana White's Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter were not included in this. I think I mentioned that as well, that there was no mention of it. He's confirmed that they weren't a part of it, but it's probably going to get worked in somehow. And maybe Paramount gets greedy and says we want everything. They want the rights to everything. We'll see how that goes. And already Zuffa Boxing is in talks with Paramount and possibly going there as well. Like I said, Paramount getting getting greedy and wanting all of it. And it is what it is. They need to quit being greedy. Shouldn't go broke doing what you love, training, meals, etc. Yeah. No, I understand. Oh, yeah, he's talking about the fighters. No, I fully understand, and I agree with you, Infinity. But you know what? We're talking to dead air right now, and there's nobody listening that matters in the space that can change it, is what I mean. Everybody that's listening matters. Thank you. I appreciate you. But you know what I mean? That matters in the game of being able to make a change. So we'll just keep saying it in hopes that it gets somewhere, right? Because I support the fighters, and Never know. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I'll just keep saying it, and we'll see. Maybe one day somebody does hear it. But a lot of the bigger people have talked about it, and the UFC doesn't seem to care. It is what it is. So anyway, those are your updates so far. Zuffa Boxing going over there probably is what it sounds like. Dana White's Contender Series, which I'm going to talk about right now. Dana White's Contender Series is, not a part of the deal just yet, but we'll see where that goes. And that did start up this week on Tuesday. Yeah, we had our first event, and Dana White wasn't happy. He wasn't happy at all. He basically just ripped into the guy, like maybe not ripped into them, but he definitely had some words for most of the competitors, and he shot down a few people, telling them, hey, listen, you come here to Dana White's Contender Series, you're looking to get in the UFC, you're not going to do that by playing it safe and being boring. He's talking to a dude that's got his face all banged up and shit, but he's still like, hey, you're fucking boring, I don't want you. He told to some dude that was 8-1, like, listen, man, you got to come in here and really give it your all. That's what you're here for. What do you have to lose except for not getting the contract? So you should be doing everything in your power to get that. And yeah, so he was harsh on him, but there's a couple of undefeated fighters. Let's see. Wait, this is week 2. Let me get to week 1. But yeah, you see the lineup there. We had at the top, it was Ilian Bufia 7-0, gets the win over Nemanja Santana. We got Ty Miller versus Jimmy Drago. Ty Miller with the win by unanimous decision. As you can see at the top, you get 2 unanimous decisions. You got a KO TKO body kick for Bizangur Susakairev. And what's impressive about this is that he got the contract, and he also got onto the Contender Series with 4 days notice. So he gets on the show, gets a win by TKO, and then, which was, by the way, a nasty body kick, and he went to follow it up, and the guy crumbled so quick that he just jumped over him. That's how that went. But yeah, he's a teammate of Khamzat Chimaev, and with 4 days notice, he goes to the Contender Series, gets a win, gets the contract, and 4 days later, he's fighting in the UFC because he's going to be on the card this Saturday for UFC 319 in Chicago. Insane, man. And if he gets the win, 2 wins in a week, quickest turnaround already for any fighter in the UFC. It's insane. Of course, we had short notice fights with like Dan Ige at UFC. No, was it Noche UFC? No, it was a different. I don't remember which UFC it was, but Dan Ige stepping in to fight Diego Lopez with 4 hours notice. So that's the shortest short notice one ever. But this is like 2 fights in less than a week, which is insane. And if he gets the win both times too, yeah. So we'll go over who his opponent is this weekend, but he is fighting this weekend. And then the other 2 fights, Rodney De Silva versus George Mangos. De Silva gets the win by unanimous decision, and then Yuri Panfirov versus Christopher Ewart, and Panfirov gets the win by unanimous decision there. So the only TKO win, Big Onk, Chicago crowd cooked. Man, they were nuts today in that press conference, huh? I personally wished Yuri got a contract. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. That wasn't Ewart in the UFC already? I'm trying to think. I was like, why does that sound familiar? Maybe not. Maybe there's another guy with that name. I was like, holy shit, what the hell happened there? That's weird. But yeah, I mean, it's nuts. Not everybody can do what Susakairev did. That was impressive. So that's your Dana White's Contender Series for this week. And the only other stuff going on this weekend, wow, that I would follow and pay attention to is the PFL World Tournament happening on Friday. I'm sorry, tomorrow. Ewart was supposed to fight McCovey, then missed weight and had to fight on Contender. Okay, see, I knew I was right because I remember when I was prepping for that show, I was like, I swear there was a Ewart. But I'm just thinking about other things, so I couldn't pinpoint it, and I don't want to spend too much time. Good call though, Big Onk. Appreciate that. Yeah, I thought he had fought already or something, but that makes sense. And I remember that now, actually. So yeah, we got the PFL World Tournament happening tomorrow, and you got some decent, well, some good names on that card, because obviously it is the championship fights, and you got Godzi Rabadanov versus Elfie Davis in the main event for the lightweight to become the tournament champion in the lightweight division. PFL main card is solid. Yeah, for sure. Liz Carmouche versus Jenna Bishop. Liz Carmouche being former UFC fighter, first involved in the first women's fight in the UFC with Ronda Rousey. So she's fighting Jenna Bishop. Marceli Alves versus Justin Wetzel. That's happening in the bantamweight division. Mads Burnell versus Robert Watley in the lightweight division. And then Juliana Velasquez versus Ekaterina Shakalova. Holy shit, that's a tough name. And that's your first prelim fight. You got Biagio Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, fighting against Adrian Grundy. Sabrina D'Souza versus Saray Orozco. Let's see who else. Anyone else in there? Isaiah Diggs versus Damian Nelson. Kenley St. Louis versus Chris Mixon. And Renat Kavalov versus Vilson. Fuck, man, those are some tough names. But yeah, that main card is solid for sure. A lot of good fights on there. So if you're into the PFL, they have their event going on tomorrow night. Those couple co-main and main events are going to be damn good, but the rest of that main card looks really good as well. So you got the tournament fights happening in those top three fights on the card, with that Mads Burnell and Robert Watley fight rounding off the main card. So check it out tomorrow, ESPN Plus. And yeah, that's PFL. So let's get to UFC 319. But before we do that, I just want to make sure I remind everybody to make sure you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you know when we go live, because I do other stuff than just this show on Sunday/Monday and Thursday. We do watch parties. So I like to do the watch parties for the pay-per-views. Now next year that's going to change a little bit, so it's going to be the premium live events, the PLEs or whatever they're going to call it. The numbered events will be the ones I do watch parties for, unless there's events that happen during the day like I've done in the past, which next weekend's fight night is actually in China, I think. So it's going to be on at like 3 a.m. I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. to do the watch party. It would be dope unless something crazy happens and I decide to get my ass up and do it, but I doubt it. So who knows? You never know though. But yeah, 3 a.m. Holy shit. I would love to do that, but I'm not sure if I could pull it off. We'll see. I'll think about it. Anyway, we're having a watch party for UFC 319. I'm going to have two other people here live in studio. Of course, Clark, Mr. Golf and Glory, and a friend of ours will be in here. We'll reveal him when he gets here. He's a funny dude though. And yeah, I don't want to say his name just yet because it's a little different what we call him. So we'll leave that for Saturday. You're gonna have to come on Saturday and find out why I withheld. It's funny, but it's just a friend of Clark's that's become a friend of mine. He's been in the chat before, and he's interested in being on the show. I don't think Josh is gonna be here because he flakes like he does, and I haven't heard from him. So it is what it is. But check out the watch party. We go live as soon as the main card is live. So that'll be 7 p.m. Arizona time this Saturday during UFC 319. Live reactions, fight talk. We have drinks, do some smelling salts. Sometimes Clark brings packs of cards to open, and we do all kinds of other stuff. Whatever comes up, we do. It's fun, and we joke around, laugh, and have some good conversations in between. So come check it out. Saturday, we go live when the main card goes live. Let's get to UFC 319. That's what everybody's waiting on. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm excited for it. And man, we have a hell of a fucking main event for this card. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. As we know, Khamzat Chimaev still undefeated, 14-0 overall. I think he is 8-0 in the UFC. And Dricus du Plessis is undefeated in the UFC as well at 9-0, but he does have 2 losses on his record, so it's not undefeated versus undefeated, but someone's always got to go when it comes to that UFC record, and we're gonna wait and see who that's gonna be on Saturday, because this is a tough fight. A lot of people have been anticipating this fight quite a bit, because the kind of fighting, the style of fighting that Dricus du Plessis has is definitely unique and different, but so is Chimaev's. While Chimaev is along that Dagestani grappling wrestling type of a fight style, he's just a berserker. He runs in quick. He's ready to go right away. He's not a slow starter at all, and he tries to just bum rush you and get to you quickly and get the finish, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. He's gonna smash you. That's what he wants to do. So and he wants to do it quick. We've seen him get into a couple wars, and some people have doubts in their head because of seeing him in that way, but we also saw Dricus du Plessis have some trouble in the earlier parts of his career, but both of these guys, regardless, are undefeated in the UFC, and Chimaev is undefeated in his entire career. So this is going to be a tough one for du Plessis, I think, and I feel like Chimaev is definitely worthy of the belt if he's able to take it off of du Plessis, because a lot of people thought he'd already be a champ. But yeah, we'll dive deeper into that fight when we get there. The rest of the card is pretty damn good as well, so let's take a look at the prelims, and we'll start at the bottom. I always like to talk about the fights, and as you can see, we have a couple X'd out, and I was gonna remake this visual with the correct people taken out, and only the people that are still fighting in. But here's the thing, they changed so many times so many times they changed the lineup, whether it be the order or who's fighting on it, and so I just got tired of remaking the visual since like Tuesday when I've had everything ready. I've had to change it like 3 times. So I said, you know what? I'm marking it with an X and I'm putting that up. So I don't forget to talk about the fights that have dropped out. And we'll talk about that right now. Nando versus Donchenko is the first fight that dropped out. And that was because actually it dropped out the second. That was the second fight, because the first one was that Bobby Green, but this was supposed to be the Ultimate Fighter. I think it was middleweight, welterweight, middleweight. Damn it, I don't remember. I think it was welterweight, in the welterweight division, and it was dropped due to an injury, I believe. Welterweight. So that's gonna get rescheduled for Noche UFC in next month, it sounds like. So whatever happened must not be too bad, because they just basically postponed it, but it's canceled off this card. So there you go. And then Bobby Green versus Diego Ferreira, unfortunately, was canceled as well, and that's due to Bobby Green getting injured. He said he can barely walk. I'm not exactly sure. He didn't go into detail exactly what happened, but unfortunately he will not be fighting on this card. But that was going to be a damn good fight, and I'm kind of sad about it. I always like watching King Green. Donchenko is out for sure. It sucks. But Tua, welcome back. Appreciate you. So that fight's out. That's a damn shame, especially when it's Ultimate Fighter finale fight, right? So you get to finally see who's gonna be the winner of the Ultimate Fighter, and then it gets fucking delayed by a month. I'm like, damn. But yeah, so that fight's done. So starting at the bottom with the other Ultimate Fighter finale, to find out who's the winner in the men's flyweight division, we got Alibi Idris. I like King Green. I was looking forward to the amount of absurd costume jewelry he was gonna wear. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He does wear some interesting shit. It's always a lot. But yeah, and then we got Joseph Morales fighting in that fight as well, to see who's going to be the Ultimate Fighter winner in the men's flyweight division. And I believe both of these guys are from DC's team. So Adarius be too wild. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. I did not follow The Ultimate Fighter much. It's tough to watch that show these days, man. I used to be diehard, don't care, stick up for the show, but I'm actually kind of tired of it. It's hard to get into it, especially when the coaches don't have that fire beneath them where they're gonna fight, you know, because that would always cause some drama. So I keep up with it, honestly. Too much drama. Actually, there's not enough anymore, Infinity. Honestly, that's what makes it boring. They just don't cover the fighters like they used to as well. Tough is good. I just fast forward to right before yeah. And I forget to do that. I always want to go back, and the fights have been rather sensational. Yeah, I saw that. I think that last fight was one of the best ones. So I did catch some of the highlights there. I do forget to go back and check out the fights, but it is what it is. I'm like, I'll wait for the finale and watch them there. I used to love following everybody, but man, tough is tough. That's all I can say. But yeah, Idris is 10-0. Morales is 12-2. So you got an undefeated fighter there, hoping to keep that undefeated record going and become the new Ultimate Fighter champion. We'll see how that goes. Let's move over to the women, and we got Karine Silva versus Dione Barbosa, the first Fighting Nerds fighter of the night in the women's class. We got the women's what did I say? That's not featherweight, that's flyweight. I said that for the guys too. It's flyweight, I'm sorry, 125. And we got Silva at 4-1 in the UFC, 18-5 overall, and Barbosa 2-1 in the UFC, 8-3 overall. Both Brazilian. Should be a decent fight. Karine Silva is fun to watch. She's coming off a loss to Viviane Araújo in her last fight, while Barbosa is coming off a win to Diana Belbita. She got a performance of the night bonus for an arm triangle choke in the first round. So this should be a good fight for the women for the second fight of the night on the prelims. Let's move over to what's going to be a damn good fight, I think. Nursultan Ruziboyev versus Brian Battle. And as you know, Brian Battle is a badass. He's a dog, and he's definitely goes out there to try to get a finish, unless he finds somebody who has a style like his, like in his last fight. I mean, he still won, but it was a bit tougher to win, especially after getting a crazy TKO win over Kevin Gisette, where he got a performance of the night bonus in France of last year in September. But yeah, when he fought Randy Brown, that was a tougher fight. He got a split decision win. He wasn't able to get off a lot of the big strikes and stuff like that he's used to doing, but he still got the win. And you know, it went to decision, but he's an exciting fighter. Nursultan Ruziboyev is 4-1 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight win streak with wins over Eric McConico and Dustin Stoltzfus, and he definitely likes to get in there and try to wreck shit too. So that last win was a decision. Before that was a TKO over McConico. So I mean, I feel like it's going to be a good fight for the prelims for sure, especially with Brian Battle being involved against Ruziboyev. I mean, come on, it's going to be a good one. That's the men's middleweight division. Next up, we got Edson Barboza versus Drakkar Klose. Man, Barboza has fought the best of the best for over like the past, 5-6 years, maybe more. He's been around for so goddamn long, it's insane. And what's weird about that is he's 39. Okay, so I thought he was more like 36, but he's 39. So I mean, he's getting up there in age for fighting, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm looking back at his record, and he got in the UFC in 2010. So yeah, I said 5 or 6 years. I'm crazy. It's more like, I mean, how long is that? Jesus Christ, I don't know. It's a long ass time. My math isn't working, but definitely over 6 or 7 years. And he's fought all kinds of people: King Green, Donald Cerrone, Paul Felder, Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, Beneil Dariush, Khabib, Kevin Lee, Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje, Paul Felder. 15 years. Yeah, there you go. Somebody did the math. I mean, so many people, but he is on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost to Giga Chikadze and Bryce Mitchell. Before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak. So you know, he can pull out some wins. He looks like he doesn't age. So that's the thing. He is fighting Drakkar Klose, who has some ties here to Arizona. He fights out of Arizona, actually. Mr. Golfing Glory Clark actually trained and stuff with him back in the day. But he's coming off a loss to Joel Alvarez in the first round, TKO. Before that, though, he was on an impressive win streak where he was 4-0. Wins over Brandon Jenkins, Rafa Garcia, Joe Selecki, and Joaquim Silva. Couple of bonuses in there too. So he's looking to get back in that win column with a big win over a big name like Edson Barboza. That's a recognizable name. He may not be up to the level he was in the past, but you know, he kind of always struggled to get up there in contention anyway. He's a great fighter, and you'll always remember Barboza from those spinning wheel kicks. So, you know, still a recognizable name. Moving on, we got Alexander Hernandez versus Chase Hooper in the men's lightweight division. Let's see. Oh, that's why it's out of order. And so the other one, that last fight on the left side, is actually on the top now, which is kind of crazy because that's the guy from Dana White's Contender Series. So I'll go over that one in just a minute. But yeah, we got Chase Hooper 16-3 versus Alexander Hernandez, who's 16-8. Hooper's 8-3 in the UFC. Hernandez is 8-7. Similar type records. Chase Hooper's really good on the ground. Great submissions. He was on a pretty good tear there for a little while. He's on a 3-fight win streak right now. That seems to be his thing, is to go on 3-fight win streaks, because he was on that until he met Aljamain Sterling. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's a grappling. Goddamn, Tapology gets me every time. So let's see. Right now he's actually on a 5-fight win streak. Because the loss he had was to Aljamain Sterling in ADXC grappling. So he hasn't lost in quite a while. Let's see. Jordan Levitt, Vyacheslav Borshev, Clay Guida, and Jim Miller. He got wins over. He got a performance of the night bonus with an armbar win over Clay Guida. It was a first round finish. He's been fighting a lot of the older guys too. So this time he has Alexander Hernandez, a bit of a younger guy, quite a bit of a younger guy compared to his last few opponents. And Hernandez is on a 2-fight win streak with wins over Austin Hubbard and Kurt Hullabah. So he's the tough killer right now. Fighting tough guys that were on the show recently and back in the day, and beating both of them. But I mean, he's 8-7 overall in the UFC. So that's kind of tough. But coming off a 2-fight win streak, we'll see how he does against Chase Hooper. In the submission column for him, he's 2-1, while Hooper has a lot more than that. He wins more by decision, but he has 6 wins by KO TKO. So we'll see how that one goes. That's a fun fight there. Next up, back to the women, we got Jessica Andrade versus Lupi Godinez in the women's strawweight division. Jessica Andrade is a former champ, rolling with Hoop maybe. Yeah, Hernandez is tough in a certain way, but I think Hooper might use his size. I mean, he's so damn big for that division, tall and everything. I mean, he's not very like heavy set or muscular, but he's tall and he's lengthy, and he uses that for his submissions. So Hernandez has to be aware of that ground game. Tua says Lupi as well. If Andrade looks soft in the midsection, I'm going with Lupi. That's a good assessment. Because in her last few fights that she looked that way, she did not do well. And yeah, she's 26-14 overall, 17-12 in the UFC. That's insane. Being a former champ as well, that's a crazy record. She is on a 2-fight losing streak. She did get a fight of the night bonus when she fought Natalia Silva, that she lost by unanimous decision. And then Jasmine Jasdavicius subbed her in the first round of her last fight. Before that, she was on a 2-fight win streak with wins over Marina Rodriguez and Mackenzie Dern. So, you know, she still gets wins over high-level girls, but, you know, she just can't string them together. As you can see, she's on a 2-fight losing streak. Or as I just said, you can't see it because I don't have that kind of stuff up right now. So Lupi is coming off a win over Julia Pilastri. If it jiggles, punch the middle. I miss the Andrade that throws 40 strikes in round 1 and 30 in each of the... Yeah, I know. That, I mean, her power was so impressive. And then, you know, and then the volume as well. Like if she couldn't get you out with 1 or 2 punches, she's gonna, you know, wail on you with about 10 or 12. And then she's gonna, you know, cover up for a second and then go back at it again. I do miss that Jessica Andrade. I don't know what happened, man. Honestly, she just went downhill after she lost the title the last time. And then, you know, it's just peaks and valleys, man. She goes up and down so much, it's crazy. Andrade is one of the illest KO power strikers, man or woman. Yeah, I agree with that. She definitely had her time, and she definitely had some great knockouts. It'd be cool to see her do that again a couple times before she decides to leave the sport. She's in such a rut. I don't like it. Need a power hitter. Yeah, we could use more of that. Although the women have been surprising me lately and getting some pretty good knockouts and finishes altogether. So, you know, I'll just keep saying, oh, you know, the women usually go to decision and then hope for the best. I'm trying to play the mind games with them. Anyway, we got Andrade versus Lupi Godinez here. And yeah, I mean, but Lupi Godinez seems to crumble sometimes in big fights. And maybe if she sees Andrade as the ex-champ that she is and the big name that she is, maybe she gets herself in trouble here. Jocelyn is a dope surprise power hitter. Oh yeah, that's the first one I thought of when you said need a power hitter. Yeah, Lupi be shit in the bed. That's fucking funny. Yeah, there you go again.
Another one.
With another one. Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck I don't know what she's doing. She gets in her head. I'm not exactly sure even what would make her do that, but it's just like she'll be winning a fight and then she'll just let it turn around on her. And I mean, she lost to Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba. Those are tough fights. Her last 3 fights, he got a unanimous decision. Last 4 were by decision. She won against Tabitha Ricci. That's the thing. She wins against Ricci, but loses against Dern. Jandiroba is a weird kind of crazy good fighter, so I don't even know what to say about that one. I love Mackenzie. Yeah, who doesn't, Tua? I love her Instagram. But yeah, I mean, she's a good fighter too. Anyway, Lupi finds ways to lose, and Jessica Andrade can definitely find a way to win at any point in time. So this could be interesting, but I think if you want to go safe, I would say Lupi's probably going to take this one. So and then we got GM3, Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, and that is in the men's middleweight division. We got a lot of fighters with a ton of fights on their records in this card. It's so crazy. As you saw, Jessica Andrade, I mean, look at all the double digits in both categories, wins and losses for these. God damn, there's a lot. So GM3, 37-19 overall, 12-11 in the UFC. 20-9 for Oleksiejczuk, 8-7 in the UFC. Yeah, man, this should be a good fight too. I think this is like a sleeper fight that people might not think is going to be great, and I think it's going to turn out to be a banger. It has the potential for sure, because Oleksiejczuk, another fighting nerds fighter, so you know what kind of style they have, but Oleksiejczuk's always been that way, so he fits right in. GM3's come on a 2-fight losing streak, but he's got losses against Brad Tavares and Rainier de Ritter. So before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak with a performance of the night bonus in there. So yeah, Mikhail's fight to lose, exactly, because GM3 likes to do what Lupi does, but in a bigger way. Round 1 KO for Oleksiejczuk. I mean, I could see it happening for sure, especially if GM3 wants to stand there in front of him and let him fucking have the chance to hit him. GM3 is very good on the ground, but I don't know if he's gonna get past that power of Oleksiejczuk. I mean, he's got it there, and like Tua said, it's Mikhail's fight to lose, because the fight starts on the feet, and all he's got to do is put that pressure, find an opening, and put those hands on him. And I think Meerschaert will crumble. We've seen it happen quite a bit. And if Meerschaert can't get his fight to the ground, how many subs GM3 got? That's a good question. Let me look real quick. What the fuck? Oh, there we go. I had a pop-up come up. 29 wins by submission. That is fucking insane. The most in that division. I don't know in the UFC specifically, But overall in his career, 29 wins, 9 losses. Yeah, that is insane. He's got 6 wins by KO TKO and 4 losses there, and then he's got 2 wins by decision and 6 losses overall. Yeah, not 29 in the UFC. I don't think he even has that many fights in the UFC. Wins, I mean. He's got 12 wins and 11 losses in the UFC. So I'm not sure how many of those were by sub. I could count them up, but that might take a minute because that's a lot of fucking fights. So anyway, 29 overall is fucking impressive, but that's, you know, that's what I'm saying. Oleksiejczuk has 15 wins by KO TKO. So those are big differences there. Obviously, 1 on the feet, 1 on the ground. So if GM3 tries to bang with Oleksiejczuk, it's not going to work out for him. And if Mikel lets GM3 get him to the ground, it might go bad for him. So that should be interesting and a good fight. Then we got the guy coming off of Dana White's Contender Series 4 days later after he fought. He's going to fight again, and this time in the UFC after he gets that contract at Dana White's Contender Series. He's fighting Eric Nolan, who was a champion in a lower level organization. I think it was CFFC. So he's coming off being the champ over there. This is Eric Nolan's UFC debut, as well as Susu Kairev, and as I said earlier, he is part of Khamzat Chimaev's camp, so Chimaev vouches for him. He's 9-0 overall, making his debut in the UFC, coming out that Contender Series win, and Eric Nolan is 8-3 overall, also making his debut. So that'll be your featured prelim fight in the men's middleweight division, and that brings us to the main card, and we will start with Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. And if you've been following, Kai Asakura came over from One Championship, and Ryzen. Did he come from Ryzen? Yeah. Shit, why do I always... Yeah, Ryzen. I said One at first, but yeah, it's Ryzen. He was 13-3 in Ryzen, but he's 21-5 overall. 0-1 in the UFC because he came straight into the UFC. That's what I was getting at. Came straight into the UFC and got a title fight against Alexandre Pantoja. You know, highly touted because of his, you know, high-flying antics and... Oh, yeah, that's weird because I did notice that when it started playing. I was like, this sounds a bit loud. A lot of times it's just me that hears it, so thanks for that, Infinity. Hopefully that's a little better. I turned it down. But anyway, yeah, Kai comes in making his UFC debut and gets a title shot right off the bat. Unfortunately, he lost that against Alexandre Pantoja because, yeah, Pantoja is just that kind of champ right now. He gets beat up, he gets damaged, but he comes out with the win, always, as of, you know, late. So Kai Asakura, though, fighting, he's 13-3 by KO TKO, 3-1 by subs, and 5-1 by decision, coming off that loss. And then we got Tim Elliott, a little bit older, 38. He's 20-13 overall, 9-11 in the UFC. So that's a little bit of a tough record. Too quiet now. No, that's good, man. I appreciate you telling me so I can kind of dial it in. You know, so hopefully that helps. And then, yeah, so it's not blowing anybody's ears out, and I'm not having to, you know, talk over it either, because it was loud in my ears too. But yeah, so we got Tim Elliott. Where was I? 9-11 in the UFC. 3-1 by KO TKO, 7-6 by sub, 10-6 by decision. He is coming off a win though, so let's check out Asakura real quick, coming off that loss to Pantoja. Before that, though, he was a champ in Ryzen, where he beat Juan Archuleta. That's a recognizable name for most of us. He also fought Kyoji Horiguchi over there. He did lose that one. He fought quite a few people over there. Manel Kopp, Shuto Watanabe. So, yeah, he had a win over Kyoji Horiguchi way back in the day. So, I mean, yeah, Kai's coming in looking to get his first UFC win against Tim Elliott. An older guy, a vet. But, you know, He's been around for a minute. He lost to Alex. Oh, I'm sorry. God damn it. The fucking grappling got me again. So he isn't coming off a loss. He's coming off a win to Sumudarji, where he got a submission win in the first round with a performance of the night bonus. Those damn grappling ones throw me off all the time. So yeah, that's an impressive win from him. And yeah, he'll be coming in looking to try to finish Kaya Sakura and give him his second loss in the UFC. Kaya will be looking for his first win in the UFC. So it should be an interesting fight. Probably some good, good energy and a lot of activity going on in this fight, I feel like. So hopefully it'll be a good one to start off the main card. That takes us to another really good fight. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. Yeah, I mean, again, an older guy in Cannonier, but Venom Page is like pretty close there. I think 38 to 41. So a bit older for both these guys, but it just feels like Cannonier. I would say if anybody looks a little older or seems a little older when they're fighting, it is Cannonier, but he still has power in those hands and he can still throw people around. So he's 10-3 by KO TKO, 3-0 by sub, and 5-5 by decision. He is coming off a win, 11-8 in the UFC. And then you got Michael Venom Page, who's only been in the UFC for a few fights. He's 2-1. He's 23-3 overall though. 12-1 by KO TKO, 4-0 by sub, 7-2 by decision. He's coming off a win as well. That's interesting. Neither one of these guys has ever been submitted, but I don't think we're going to be going to the ground a lot with this one. At least not going to the ground with the intent to submit. But Cannonier might do some grappling if he can get a hold of Michael Page. But that's the only thing we'll see when it comes to that. Let's take a look at Cannonier's last fight. He fought RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez, as you can see in that top left picture, and he did get the win in round 4. Also got a performance or a fight of the night bonus on that one, so both of them got the bonus. It was a really good fight. Cannonier was busted up as well, but RoboCop was just leaking from the face. Cannon looked so cool at the press conference. Oh man, he just looked a solid American look. Yeah. MVP by finish though, round 3. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing too. The only way, I mean, we've seen MVP kind of like against, I mean, just kind of be mid a little when it comes to the fight. Like against Kevin Holland, he had a little bit of trouble, like just not being able to do what he normally does. Got stifled a little bit, kind of like in his first fight against Ian Gary. But yeah, I mean, or not his first fight, I'm sorry, against the fight against Ian Gary. But yeah, that fight against Holland, it was kind of like, MVP said he was going to pick up the output and throw combos. I love that talk. Yes, that's what he fucking needs to do too, because that's what we saw him do in Bellator he was throwing way more volume and taking bigger chances. And I know that the competition in the UFC is a lot stronger. And he probably felt that right away in his first fight into the UFC, and then he loses in his second fight. I mean, he got the win against Sharp Bullet, but he hasn't done those crazy, fantastic knockouts and stuff that he was doing in Bellator. So it'd be nice to see him pick up the volume and really push it out there. You could see that spinning back elbow he did on Kevin Holland there, but still, we haven't seen the level of things that he was doing in Bellator. I want Cannon to win though, but MVP got the dope skill set. This fight excites me, definitely. I agree with you 100%. I mean, I think it'd be cool to see Cannonier win just because he's like that real humble, like quiet dude. You just can't piss him off because you can see it in his face, and he got a little pissed off today at the press conference. MVP said something, and you could see the look on his face. He was pissed. But yeah, I think MVP might be a little too fast for Cannonier. If he can just not get clipped too hard early on, while Cannonier really has that power, there and ready to go. If he can survive like RoboCop did, I don't know though. I don't know if Michael Page has that kind of dog in him like RoboCop does. But this should be a great fight. It excites me as well, and it should be a good one. So I'm looking forward to it. Moving on, we got another great fight, and I gotta play this again. Another great fight that I'm looking forward to. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates, the third and final fighting nerd fighter on this card. And I say that because you know you're gonna get some exciting fights when you got anyone from the fighting nerds fighting. So Carlos Prates coming off a loss though, you know, his first loss. He's in the UFC. He was 4-0 until he got that loss, and he was looking damn good. But Jeff Neal is here trying to, you know, quiet down that big talk around the fighting nerds. But I mean, regardless, I think KB beverage. All right, Infinity. But yeah, I still feel like this is going to be a great fight. Jeff Neal is 16-6 overall, 8-4 in the UFC, 10-1 by KO TKO, 2-2 by sub, and 4-3 by decision. No worries, Infinity. I was like, what the hell? Let's see. And then Prates is 16-2 by KO TKO, 3-3 by sub, and 2-2 by decision. So yeah, I mean, this could really go anywhere. Both these guys have skills all over the place, and I feel like it's going to be an exciting fight, especially, you know, with Prates being the opponent for Neal. I think Prates is going to push Neal to really put a big fight on. And Kevin Neal, what the hell? Jeff Neal is coming off a win over Rafael Dos Anjos, but Dos Anjos had a leg injury, so that's how that one ended. Still a TKO win for Neal though. Before that, he was on 2-fight losing streak with losses against big names, Ian Machado, Gary, but he took him to split decision, and then lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov where he got submitted. And that was that one where Rakhmonov, what did he do? He got him in that weird choke, standing rear naked choke. Yeah, that's how he won. So, but it was funny because it was like he almost kind of like what Fluffy Hernandez just did to Roman Dolidze. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, so Jeff Neal against Carlos Prates. Let's take a look at Prates' last fights. He last lost to Ian Machado Gary by unanimous decision. And, you know, of course, we had all the people calling fraud check. But his 4 fights before that, all of his fights in the UFC had all been wins for him by TKO in the first or second round. And he got performance of the night bonuses on all 4 of those fights. And that was against Neil Magny, Li Jingliang, the Leech, Charles Radke, and Trevin Giles. Like Chuck Buffalo. I mean, come on. Those are a lot of big wins against good names, especially like Neil Magny. I mean, damn. And then again, all TKO wins in the first, 1 in the first and 3 in the second, all with bonuses. So we need to see that Carlos Prates come back here, and I think Jeff Neal might be the right opponent to be able to do that. So we'll see how that one turns out. Neal better wrestle and kick like a motherfucker. Yeah, that's what he's gonna need to do, because otherwise Prates is gonna come for his head. So of course Prates has the, you know, exciting fight style, and you know, he definitely puts the pressure on early. So we'll see what Jeff Neal has for him. This is an exciting fight, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna be locked in for this one, as I am for most of this main card, honestly. So I'm ready, man. I'm excited for it, and I'm ready to watch this on Saturday. Next up, with the co-main event, we have Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. So this one's an interesting one, and the reason for that, I say, is because Lerone Murphy is actually the underdog, which is insane, because he's 16-0 overall and undefeated overall, and then 8-0 in the UFC, which is crazy. Half of his fights have been in the UFC, and he's undefeated overall. So, and then you got Aaron Pico, who is coming in making his UFC debut. He was a crazy prodigy back in the day, you know, coming up, highly touted. Terzi, what's up, Terzi? Calling Chimaev already. Oh, is massive. Oh shit, yeah, you know what's weird though? When they faced off at that conference, when they faced off at that press conference, he didn't look as big as he did in that video we saw of them backstage. Where maybe it was oh shit, Terzi's in Chicago. Oh, that's right. I remember you saying you were gonna be there. That's fucking nuts. 99% fans here, Chimaev. Yeah. Hey, thanks for jumping in, even though Drickus had the lifts on. Oh shit.
Bruh.
Oh fuck, I believe you. You were there. Drickus wearing the shoes he had versus Izzy. Oh shit. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, because it's crazy, because in that video Chimaev looked way bigger, but yeah, that's nuts, man. Hey, I'm happy for you being there, man. That's badass. Do you live around there, or did you just make the trip there? Either way, that's dope that you get to be there. And I think you said you're gonna be at the fight as well, right? Yeah, the crowd was so loud. It definitely was, man. I was kind of getting annoyed because I'm like, can we just let him talk though? Like get crazy when something's said. It drove 15 hours. Holy shit, that's insane. Terzi's there to pay for an
Oh, hell no.
Oh shit, you guys cracked me up, man. That shit is so funny. Anyway, we got Aaron Pico coming in, UFC debut. You know, he was looking like a world beater in the beginning of his career, and then, you know, it fizzled out a little bit. Change your pick now, bro. I'm telling you, Drickus is dead man walking. Oh shit, Drickus looked nervous there. Yeah, see, I was convinced on DDP, honestly. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried right now. Can Murph pull Pico into a boring fight? I think he can. He played it off well though, you know, with the way, you know, how he's out there kind of taunting him a little bit. But yeah, he did look a little shook about it. So I think Murphy can pull him into a boring fight. That's the bad part, especially if Pico gets kind of he seems very confident that he's gonna go out there and take his head off. And I mean, Lerone Murphy doesn't even go to the ground much. So as you can see, 0-0. MVP is so big in person. The crowd should boo both DDP and Chimaev. UFC in this hole. I got a roll. Catch you on the flip. All right, Infinity, appreciate you. I don't get how MVP made 70s. Yeah, he is big. I mean, I don't get it either, honestly. Adesanya is bigger than MVP. Massive skull. Adesanya is pretty big. I have seen him in person. I've never seen MVP in person, but Adesanya is bigger than you would think. They look so tall and lanky and skinny, but I mean, it's pretty big. Online wants everyone to think Drickus, but when you're in person, it's all Khamzat suit. Okay. Or oh, got you. Yeah, I mean, Khamzat is that silent killer, man. You know, when he gets loud, but for the most part, you hear him and he talks all monotone and just and stuff like that. But yeah, he's a killer, man. And but you know, I'll get into it here in just a minute. Anyway, Aaron Pico coming in, already talking about fighting Volkanovski, the champ. I feel like it's too much talk for not even getting past your first opponent, who, by the way, is fucking undefeated. Half of his fights that he's fought in his overall career where he's undefeated have been in the UFC. Who the fuck have you fought, Aaron Pico? Who have you fought? You haven't fought shit for competition, as opposed, you know, in comparison to Lerone Murphy. So I don't know, man. I think that confidence is a bit too fucking high for what you're up against coming into the UFC. But Murphy's hair pisses me off though. Oh shit, that's a good one. I understand it too. Oh fuck, that's hilarious. But yeah, I fully get what you're saying, that it is fucking annoying. But dude, Murphy has beat Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, Edson Barbosa, Josh Culibao, Makwan Amir Khani, Gabriel Santos, Douglas Silva de Andrade, Ricardo Ramos. I mean, come on. Like, that's a lot of fucking names. And being completely undefeated in the UFC. Shit, it's not like he's been fighting cans. And then we get to Aaron Pico. Who the fuck have you fought? I mean, I like Aaron Pico, but it just kind of makes me mad how he was talking in that press conference and how I've heard him in interviews. Confidence is one thing, but just outright delusional shit. And he's good enough to possibly not be delusional about it. I'm not trying to talk down on him for the most part. It just irked me a little bit the way he was talking and thinking that he's gonna. But if he comes in and crumbles Murphy, man, I mean, he's the truth. I gotta say that. It's not like Murphy's the best fighter in the world, but he's undefeated. Like, how do you just dismiss an undefeated fighter like that who's fought most of his fights in the UFC? It's crazy to me. I don't understand it. And being undefeated and have been in the UFC for this long with this many fights there. I mean, 8 fights, it's not nothing, you know, it's not like a ton, but it's enough to call it a lot of fights in the UFC. And to be undefeated with that kind of competition he's fought, and he's the fucking underdog. So make a bet on that shit. That's what I'm saying. But who knows? I don't know shit. So whatever. You know, it just kind of annoys me. I don't get it. I mean, he fought in the PFL once against Henry Corrales, got the win there. I mean, he does have a lot of first round finishes. I'll give him that, win or loss. He's been finished in the first round as well by Jeremy Kennedy. That was a shoulder injury though. So Pedro Carvalho, first round finish there. Adley Edwards. But I mean, most of these guys, nobody would really know. I mean, there's just a bunch of dudes from Bellator. Yeah, Nina Hot in person, didn't expect. Oh shit. Hey man, I'm telling you right now, I've seen her look hot before, and she is that type of girl that you're like, whatever. But then, yeah, you see him in person, I would definitely think that she looks damn good in person. And yeah, there's some times when it's like, oof, like, what are you doing? Just some of her looks, but a lot of the time she looks pretty damn good. So I think her goofiness and craziness kind of throws it off a little bit, but she's been a model for a reason, right? So yeah, anyway, I don't think Pico has seen the level of competition he's about to see in the UFC. But what if Lerone Murphy shits the bed, right, and just looks like shit? We've seen it happen before. Overhyped fighters come in, crumble under the lights. They get the UFC, jitters and all that, and shit happens, right? But we've also seen those guys come in and just murder fools right away. And that's how they become stars. They start that upward rise and they don't stop. So it could go either way. I shouldn't shit talk too much on Pico, because I do believe that he's a great fighter. I think he's got really good hands, and he's a goddamn good wrestler. That's what he was well known for back in the day. So you can't really count him out, but it's hard to say that he's just going to come in and wipe the floor with Lerone Murphy, who's undefeated against eight of those 16 fights that he's undefeated on have been in the UFC. I don't know, man. That's just logic. But I could be wrong. Anything can happen in MMA. That's what makes it exciting. As you can see, some of the big punches here by Pico. Always has a different kind of look too. It's weird. Back in the day with the shaved head, now he's got more hair and a beard. Trying to look all dapper and shit at the press conference with his suit on. But it's his UFC debut, he's trying to play it up, so it's good. And I wish him luck. I have nothing against Aaron Pico. I just didn't like the bravado. I didn't like the fucking overconfidence. Just to discount an undefeated fighter. You should be humble anyway coming into the UFC, at least a little bit. If you're not going to be crazy and outlandish, this whole like monotone, down low kind of low key fucking confident shit, it came off kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's okay. I'm excited to see him in the UFC, see what he can do, because if he comes in doing the kind of stuff he was doing in Bellator, then, it could be a great thing. So, and you know what? We need stars in the UFC, so I'm all for it. But Lerone Murphy's going to be tough. So that's all I'm saying. Let's get to this main event. DDP, Dricus Du Plessis. I don't know. What do you guys say? Because I feel like Dricus Du Plessis is the right way to say it. Now, obviously, Duplessis is the way we look at it and see it in America. Duplessis is the way you say it if you're trying to be somewhat correct. But Dricus, people, I mean, like Sean Strickland calls him Dricus. I've heard a lot of people call him Dricus, but I know I've heard it more officially being said Dricus. I don't know. That's just something that bugs me sometimes too. Now, I mean, I understand people missaying Khamzat Chimaev. You know, most people say Khamzat and Chimaev, but if you listen to MMA Guru, Chimaev, but also he's you know, he's foreign as well, so he has an accent and stuff, so it's different. But Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Duplessis, I don't know. I've just heard it said that way too many times for it to, you know, by official people, so I just say it that way. I don't know. I was just curious if anybody else about that at all. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that tangent. We got the champ, Dricus Duplessis, 23-2 overall, 9-0 in the UFC, 9-1 by KO TKO, 11-1 by sub, 3-0 by decision. As you can see, if he goes to decision, he doesn't lose, but it's only been 3 fights there. He's been finished, as opposed to Khamzat Chimaev, who's never been finished at all in his career, and is undefeated in his career as well as in the UFC. Tersey lying. Nina's pretty on videos. I see it both ways, man. I can fully see her being hot in person too. But who knows? I know you guys give each other shit, so I'm over here laughing. It's all good. But yeah, so Chimaev undefeated overall, both undefeated in the UFC. Duplessis has one more fight than Chimaev, but you know, Chimaev had all the health problems, the weight issues. There's a lot of stuff. You didn't expect a pretty woman in videos to be pretty in person. I mean, I've seen that too, man. I've seen pictures of chicks and then you see them in person and you're like, what the hell? Chimaev in 5. So you're saying in decision, or he's gonna finish him in the 5th? Which one is that? But yeah, man, I can see this going either way, honestly. Dricus is such an awkward, weird fighter. Like, he just doesn't look like the technique is bad. But it works for him. And I mean, I've heard a lot of guys say that. A lot of fighters talk about that. DDP has 0 skills. Yeah, but somehow he makes it work. That's what's fucking weird. Like, I went from the skill gap is too vast. See, that's the thing though. I mean, Dricus went up against a bunch of black belts and, you know, was able to beat all of them in some kind of like training / grappling, like some kind of weird thing they did. I don't remember what it was, but Khamzat is so good on the ground with the grappling and the wrestling and everything else. I mean, his submissions are great. He's so fucking strong. You know, you think he's gonna break your fucking chin or your jaw in general, or some teeth at this point. Those black belts were in South Africa. All of them were guard pullers. They weren't pro BJJ grapplers. Okay, so that's what I missed, because I thought they were all like pro guys. But that was just something I heard that I thought was kind of fucking interesting, considering I don't really look at Duplessis and think, you know, he's gonna Dricus fighting all of them is impressive though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's one of those weird things, you know. He does have 11 finishes by sub, but we've seen him on the feet lately, and he just, with his weird style, he gets it done. And I mean, he makes it look good too. I don't know, but Khamzat is just a killer. He looks crazy. Kudos to Dricus, a pro athlete, to beat up Hobby. Yeah, so that's the thing. I don't know, man. DDP has his skills. You know, starting with that Robert Whittaker fight. Man, I was so upset at that one, and I fucking hated Dricus for it. But you know, he looked so damn good in that fight, considering how it's a fun video to watch as well. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to look it up too. But nice kicks. But yeah, so I feel like he has the skills, but it's just one of those things. I don't know how he's gonna handle Chimaev. with the pressure he puts on, how fast paced it's going to be in the beginning. So, yeah, I doubted DDP so much for so long, and still after he beat Whitaker, I didn't think he was going to get the title when he did. So against Sean Strickland, and then to come back and beat Adesanya like he did, but Adesanya, you know, had his problems. I think his mental was not there. It's fun to doubt DDP. It definitely is, because I fucking was like, he's just a huge douchebag. Like, I hated him like that much. And I mean, it's not that I fucking love him now. It's just, it's the same thing with Fluffy. I had nothing against Fluffy. That's a good point. Yeah. I have nothing against Fluffy Hernandez, but I was doubting him all the time just because the people he was fighting, I'm thinking there's no way he's gonna beat him, and he just kept winning. And so I stopped doubting him, and I was like, he's 100% gonna win this fight against Elite. And look what he did. He fucking he threw him around like a rag doll and fucking treated him like a child. So, you know, he big brothered him, and it was impressive. So that's kind of how I feel about DDP. But Chimaev is a different kind of animal, different kind of opponent than Roman Dolidze was to Fluffy. Everybody was so high on Dolidze though, and it was crazy just because Fluffy was on such a, you know, win streak, and now is on an 8-fight win streak. It's nuts. But I love the racial implications with him and Adesanya. DDP has a great narrative. Also, having South African representation is absolutely lovely. Yeah, yeah, that was a weird interaction with him and Izzy. I didn't even know which side to take on that one. I was like, what the hell? What are we doing? It was fucking entertaining though, I'll tell you that. I'm a big Izzy fan, so I guess if anything, I was on Izzy's side because I just didn't like DDP much. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about him. And Khamzat, we've seen him struggle, and that's what I'm a little bit worried about. While we've seen DDP struggle as well, walks out with Tachi. Mr. African Air. Like Chimaev, we've seen him struggle in that fight, you know, against Gilbert Burns. That was a war against Kamaru Usman, and a lot of people think that if that fight would have gone 5 rounds, that he could have beat him. But I mean, in the end, he still gets a win, and he still did his thing. I mean, that's really all you can say. While he struggled, all of his wins are so goddamn impressive, especially this last one against Whitaker, which, by the way, fuck you, Chimaev, for that too, because it's like, I don't know, I love Whitaker. So to see him get done dirty like that, but dude, Chimaev is scary when it comes to those chokes, those submissions. I mean, he doesn't even have the choke in. He's across the chin, and he's, you know, damn near breaking his jaw, breaking teeth off. DDP talks like a student of the game. He clearly studied Chimaev, but it won't matter. Yeah, I mean, how much studying can you do to fucking, you know, dodge the berserker out there? Because those first couple rounds are going to be insane. Now, is Chimaev going to fight smart and reserve a little bit of it, or is he going to go out there looking for that quick finish and get gassed out? The rumors I've heard is that he's had a great camp, and he looks fucking as big as we think he looks. And on top of that, he's worked on his cardio. He has no problems, and you know, he's just as impressive looking as ever, if not more. So with all that being said, that's what makes me doubt DDP. And like I said before, I have to quit doubting him because he keeps proving me wrong. But this is a different type of fight with a different type of fighter, as opposed to all the other ones. I've said that before. So, but here's the thing. You get this guy who's so crazy hyped, and everyone thinks is a killer of all killers, and the, you know, the world beater, and you think he's never going to lose. And then he fights someone like Dricus, who's like, I can see him losing easily. And then you see this guy just turn around and just eat shit. And he can't beat the guy who is the champ, because he's got the confidence of a champ, and he fights like a champ. So what can Dricus do? I mean, what can Dricus do to stop the crazy onslaught he's going to have to face when Chimaev comes after him in the first couple rounds? I don't know. I would just say defend the best you can, and don't try not to gas. and hope that Chimaev gasses a little bit, so then you can turn it up, because Dricus is good at turning it up in the later rounds. We've seen him do it before. He does get hit, he does get damaged, but he stays in there. He hasn't lost yet in the UFC, and he's the champ with title defenses. So you can't count him out as quickly as a lot of people seem to be counting him out. But I understand it coming from the side of he's fighting Khamzat Chimaev, who's a fucking killer. It's a tough one, but DDP has to wrestle, punch in between scrambles, and make the wolf work constantly. Yep. Keep him busy, tire him out. Hope to tire him out at least, and challenge that gas tank. That's a damn good point again, Tua. So, yeah, man, that's your main event. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited for this fight. Everyone's excited for this fight. So, I can't wait for Saturday. Don't forget about the watch party happening on Saturday. I hope Chimaev tackles DDP though through the cage. Yeah, that would definitely be some exciting shit. Let's take a look at last week's fight wheel predictions before we get into this week's predictions. Let me bring up this main card. We had Angela Hill getting the win, or the fight wheel predicted Angela Hill. You doing a watch party? Yeah. Yeah, watch party on Saturday during the main card. So be here if you want to see what that's about. We always have fun. So the fight wheel predicted Angela Hill to win against Yasmin Lucindo, which did not happen. Matsumoto versus Miles Johns, and Matsumoto get the win. That one's correct. Fluffy got the won. Fluffy won. Got the win is what I'm trying to say. Urseg wins. Feely wins, and Eric Anders lost. So 4-2 for the fight wheel. Not too bad. That's about what I did on my staff picks for CST. Let's get rid of these names real quick. We'll clear that out, and then let's pull up this fight wheel and get that going real quick before we end this. All right, let's see what the fight wheel has for UFC 319 fight wheel predictions. Here we go. First fight wheel prediction will be first fight of the night in the main card, and Kai Asakura to get his first UFC win over Tim Elliott. There's your first fight wheel prediction. Let's get rid of those names. Wish that wheel was a donut. Then you'd be hungry. I'm just gonna write Kai to make it quick. Let's go to the next fight wheel prediction for UFC 319. One fight down, 4 fights to go, and we got Lerone Murphy undefeated and staying undefeated, and not allowing Aaron Pico to debut with a win in the UFC. Lerone Murphy with the win there. There's your second fight pick. Let's get rid of Aaron Pico. Yes, Big Murph. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So we'll see if the fight wheel predicts correctly. And I did pick Kai Asakura to win against Tim Elliott as well. So there's that. Next up, the main event. Oh shit. Khamzat Chimaev to beat Dricus du Plessis and you, and still undefeated Khamzat Chimaev. So there's your fight wheel prediction for the main event, and it's calling for a new champ. 2 fights left. Let's go. I might bet this parlay. Yeah, I might too, actually. Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal. Prates with the win according to the fight wheel. And to be honest, this really is not a bad fucking lineup for picks. Let's get rid of that one. One last fight to go. 5-leg parlay might do a round robin. Yeah, good call. That could be a good one. Let's see what this last one is. Oops, clicked on the wrong wheel. Here we go. Michael Venom Page versus Jared Cannonier, UFC 319. Last fight pick for the fight wheel, and it's looking like Jared Cannonier to get the win over Michael Venom Page. That's the only questionable one out of all of these, I think. because Chimaev could definitely win. So that one's a bit questionable, but not out of the realm of possibility, I don't think. So Tua says he likes it, possibly betting on it. Not a bad lineup, honestly. The only one I kind of worry about is that Cannonier fight, and of course the Chimaev fight, because it could go either way in my eyes. But the fight wheel predicts Chimaev will win. So we got Kaya Sakura beating Tim Elliott, Lerone Murphy beating Aaron Pico, Khamzat Chimaev beating Dricus Du Plessis, Carlos Prates beating who the fuck is he fighting again? Carlos Prates. Damn it. Why can't I remember? Jeff Neal. And then Jared Cannonier to beat Michael Venom Page. Those are your fight wheel predictions. And that is about it. So not a bad night. I'll do my round robin parlay, and then I'll add this 5-leg parlay as a second wager. Nice. Yeah, and then you can come in on Saturday and let me know how that's going. That way we can help you celebrate when you win one of those parlays. And especially if it's the fight wheel predictions, I'll be extra happy for you. I'll let you know how it works out. Okay. Yeah, but for sure, everybody, don't forget, Saturday night during the main card, we will be live here. Watch Party Podcast. I'll have 2 other people here in the studio with me. Golf and Glory, Mr. Clark, as usual, and then another special guest. I don't think Josh is coming, so yeah, no surprise there, but it's all good. Anyway, that's it for me. It was a good night to talk about UFC 319. Appreciate you, Tua. Thanks for all the interaction and the fun banter and the funniness. Thank you for the stream. Appreciate it. Take care. Yeah, thank you. Come back again on Sunday, where I should be doing it Sunday this week for the recap show. Don't forget about the Watch Party Podcast on Saturday during the main card. That's it for me. Don't forget to watch the fights as well, of course. Enjoy them. I'm out. Take it easy. Peace. Which smelling salt should I get? Oh, I have the black pepper one, but if you don't want any scent, the scentless one is really good too. But I've also heard the spearmint one is good. So there you go. I have tried the spearmint. It is good. So those are my recommendations. There's some with no scent. I mean, it has a smell to it, but it's just, it just means it doesn't smell like anything in particular. So yeah, check it out. It's good. Go read about it on their website. Link down in the description. Buy a bottle too. What's the no scent smell like? Kind of like ammonia. Freezer ice? Maybe so. I don't know. That's it for me though. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.